Hello, and welcome to the fifth and final video in the Getting Started series for Microsoft Teams. In this video, we'll be reviewing team settings and channel settings, as well as additional apps that function alongside Teams. These can be apps that are added to a team specifically, or the different apps that work along the main menu to support work being done in Teams. So we're finally going to answer the question today of how do you manage your team? How do we manage the look and feel? How can we see the various members and make decisions on what they can and cannot do within the space? To pull up the settings for a team, we'd first want to go to the team's listing, and in line with the title, use the ellipsis to open up the menu. Remember that my view is a bit different, but in most cases, you can always find the settings option or the settings menu to the right of a team name. The menu looks as such, and I'll go through the options sequentially. The first option, called Hide, moves a team down to the Hidden Teams section. This moving a teams down to Hidden Teams does not impact the way in which you can interact within the space. It's simply meant as a categorization tool to help you manage and keep your teams listing clean. If you have old or unused team sites that you're members of, you can simply move teams from your team section down to your hidden team section so that's out of the way. If you'd like to move a team back, simply redo the steps, going to More Options, and then clicking Show where Hide used to be. Next in the menu is Manage Team, and this takes you to your team dashboard. From here, you can see the opportunity to see all the participants from within a team, broken down into the three main roles: owners, members, and guests. We can see here in the bottom section that we can remove members or guests. And if a member were here, now we only have one guest as an example, but if we were to have a student listed as a member in the site, we'd actually be able to remove the student, one, and two, we'd actually be able to make them an owner. We'd have the option to assign them to an owner segment. And in the same way, if we have a student or a participant in the team that was an owner, if you're an owner, you can bump them down to a member. So you can maintain your owner membership statuses across the different team participants, but guests are locked into that role. Next, you can add members from this page if you'd like to, and search for members from within the team. Next, we have pending requests, which is fairly straightforward. This page shows you team members or members who were added to the team but have not yet made a decision on whether or not they would like to join. So the pending requests would be listed here. So you can identify which team members have not yet visited the space or have not yet accepted membership to the space. Next is the channels. And here in channels, it lists, as it states, all the channels from within your team. We can see that we have the general channel, which is added to every team space, and 3 channels that I've added myself. We can again hide these channels if we'd like to by selecting these boxes. We can see that on the left-hand side now, there are now 3 hidden channels listed, and here they are. And going back to the team dashboard, I can put them back into, I can show them again by rechecking the boxes. Next, we have their show for their members or the description that's been added, and a team type. Now, the show for members essentially would show which members have access to possibly private teams, as an example. Looking at the type, we'll be able to see whether it's private, standard, or public. I have a combination of a standard page or a standard channel and 3 private channels. We can see activity logs, as well as find channel menus here so that we can update options for each channel. At the bottom of the page, we can see any channels that have been deleted. And I'm running tally, so I can see that I have 4 active and 3 deleted channels. We can see the date they were deleted and restore them if we'd want. We can also, from this page, add new channels. Next is the settings page. Now from here, we get to make broader decisions that affect the entirety of the team. We can change the theme of the team. We can update members' permissions. And remember, students are added as members to the team. So this, in effect, will be managing what students can and cannot do within the space. And feel free to pause right now if you wanted to review these in more detail. Next, we have guest permissions, which cannot be changed. At mentions. Of the mentions, there are 2 in particular. One is team mentions, which will send a notification to anyone in the team, and channel mentions, which will send a notification to anyone who has access to a channel. The team code allows members to self-join to a team site simply by inputting the code in the join or create a team option down here in the bottom left. We have opportunities to change settings around emojis, memes, GIFs, and stickers, to manage notebook sections and preferences, and to see and manage tags. And lastly is the team expiration. There is a 1-year expiration that's applied to team sites. Team owners will receive a notification for a team renewal for longer than that 1-year period at the 30-day, 15-day, and 1-day mark before a team expires. When the team owner receives this notification, they can click Renew in the team settings to renew the team. If a team owner does not renew a team, and there is no further activity on the team until the end of the expiration policy, the team is put into a soft deleted state, which means it can still be restored within 30 days after the team expiration date that's listed. To prevent accidental deletion, auto renewal is automatically enabled for a team where an expiration policy is in place. Any team that has at least 1 channel visit from any team member before the team expires would then automatically have that team renewed without any manual intervention from the owner. Next, we have Team Analytics, which houses many different data points around student or user engagement, activity, and role. We can make selections of this information regarding all the channels in a team, specific channels in a team, and even date durations. Lastly, we have apps, and this allows you to manage the apps that are associated with your team. The apps listed are all associated with your team, even though you may not be using them, and the More Apps button on the far right will allow you to add additional apps and additional functionality to your team. Moving on and back to the menu for options within a team, we can again add channels from the menu, add new members from the menu, leave the team, edit the team, which allows you to edit the team title, choose a grade level, and subject, as well as to add an image that's to be associated with the team. We can see now that that icon is now enabled on my menu and within the team. We can get a link to the team so that members can access and manage the tags associated. Lastly, we can delete the team. Now, we've covered the menu for the team. Let's jump into the menu for a specific channel. Channel menus, just like team menus, are located to the right of a channel's name. We can click the ellipsis or three dots to open up that menu and see what's available. While there are team-specific settings and permissions, channels also contain their own options for settings and permissions. These options are nowhere near as in-depth as the teams, but provide additional functionality as needed. We can see here we can change channel settings around notifications. There's some preset options available here as well as custom options. We can pin a channel, which adds it to a separate pinned area on your team's listing. We can see that this specific channel now supersedes my list of teams and is available in this pinned state. To place it back into the team, we can simply use the ellipsis to unpin. To remove this channel from a pinned state, we'd simply use the ellipsis to unpin. Next, we can see the manage channel so that we can see the channel dashboard. Here we can see owner participants that have access to the channel. Again, this is a private channel. So the access point at this moment is only the owner, since I have not added any members or guests to the channel. Here we can add a member specifically to the channel, which is quite handy. We can see here that we're reminded that this is a private channel and only members that we add here will see it. Next, we have the settings for the channel, which again is much less than what we can find on the Teams settings page. But they're quite similar in the sense of we can see member permissions. We can manage our @mentions and get a sense of the things that we can do around GIFs, memes, and emojis and stickers. We even have specific analytics that are assigned directly to a channel. Now remember, through the Teams analytics, we can actually get a sense of the different analytics for a specific channel anyway. Next in the list, we can there's a short key here so we can add members. So we don't actually have to go into the dashboard. We can simply add members right from the menu. We can get an email address for the channel. We can edit the channel. Again, this allows you to edit the title as well as the title and the description, essentially. Lastly, we can delete the channel and we can also leave the channel. Going back to the get email address, clicking it provides you with an email that you can use to send messages to. Anytime a reply or a message is sent to a channel's email, it will actually show up or appear in the channel. And that ends the look at Teams and channel settings. Next, we're going to look at apps. From the left app menu, we can see that there are a number of apps that are associated with Teams. Now, some of these apps have private information, so I'm simply going to describe them for you. Activity tracks interactions that occur within conversations, calls, or other aspects of a team, and these even include grading and assignments. Chat keeps record of private, group, or online meeting conversations. Assignments tracks any draft assignments, open assignments that are assigned, and ones that have been returned across all different teams. The calendar shows any calls, meetings, or manually added events that are upcoming. Calls allow students to have one-on-one or group conversations outside of the class team. And files tracks all documents from teams that you have access to. Lastly, we have additional applications. Now, additional applications can be added to a team for additional functionality. There's an entire app center where you can search the apps that are available through Microsoft and even see descriptions of how they might function within your team. There are many different apps and providers of apps listed in the App Center. And because they're all so unique, there is no easy way to support the work being done through these applications. So we do encourage you to use your discretion when selecting apps from the store, knowing full well that there might not be much support available for the use and application of these. This is the end of the final video in the Getting Started series. I hope that you found these videos of use to you while understanding the team's service and what it can provide.